Can we get a clash via Sistina in the Cox Plate? Can we?
Oh, yeah, I think that's where they should be going. Well, I'd love to have her. It's a ripper, great story, But you'd have to. You'd think. I mean, we know she's won Oaks and all of that sort of stuff, but crikey, that was just. You've ever seen a horse truck up like that in Group 1 against that class? I mean, there's no slugs amongst them.
Just went through. Oh, yeah. And we're talking about the Memsey Stakes and Treasure of the Moment and Damian Lane, and the way she took that gap and then just accelerated away from Mr. Brightside, if you don't mind. Buckaroo running into third. Fangirl from a long way back. Antino was always in trouble wide. I couldn't believe Another Will was favourite for this race, Brad. I honestly could not believe it. I thought he was in a power of trouble before the race. Yeah,
it was a ripper. But the bottom line was, I think it was more the data. I think, what was it, 4 starts first up for 3 wins and nearly unbeaten at that course distance. I think that's probably caught a few, and just sort of they're looking for something. Was it going to be wound up? Were the others going to be wound up? Was, Treasure of the Moment going to be wound up? Was, there was sort of a little bit of doubts on, and we'll talk to Ralphy about this, but there was a little bit of doubts about the trial of Mr. Brightside. Fangirl was allegedly flying, but as you say, got too far back. I know you had a little bit of raps on Antino, but just got the bad trip. Yeah, so it's one of those, it's just genuinely one of those races where you sit back and watch, because if you're having a bet, you're not 100% sure that you're going to be in the queue at the end of the race. You know what I mean?
Gee, the might of Yulong to the 4 there. This is a portent of things to come, I think. We've seen this continual build and build and build by Yulong, and then, wow, they're down the pitch and just dispatching them for 4. McNeil Stakes, Tycoon Star, how good was it? It was massive.
Yes.
And then, of course, we've got Grahame Begg on the program in the second hour. Magic Time. She just erupted to blow them away. A good field there. And then it was taken out by Treasure of the Moment in the Group 1 Men's. It was amazing. And what a horse. And Damian Lane couldn't get a better rider to be on a horse like her.
Yeah, but the track was in superb condition, really, when you think about it. They did have a little bit of rain and whatever, but you could win from anywhere, couldn't you? You've just outlined that. I mean, you look at the way those horses you just mentioned won. There was, as you say, Treasure of the Moment came through along the rail pretty much. The time horse of Beggs, was out in the middle.
Magic Time,
they were everywhere. They were coming from anywhere, really. It was fantastic. So a really great day's racing. Looking forward to recapping that with Ralphy later in the hour. What else have we got?
Update on the aftermath.
Bit of weather.
Is brought to you by Tab Touch.
5.4 here. Feels like 5.4. Wow, that's an unusual occurrence. Broome, 34. Karratha, 30. Port Hedland, wind easy and sunny and 32. Carnarvon, well, they're racing there today. Second last meeting of the season. The Peter Evans Memorial, the Stewie Maver Memorial, the sprint and the distance races sets it all up for Cup Day. And we'll be talking to Darryn Pateman. He's got a very strong hand there later on in the program. Geraldton Sunny 22, their season will get underway soon, first week of October. And Northam, sunny and 20. Kalgoorlie, 19 degrees. They'll race there next week. Coolgardie Cup, Mandurah, sunny, 17. Pinjarra, 18. Bunbury, partly cloudy, 17. Albany, 19. Esperance, 20. And here in Perth, 21 degrees. Beautiful day for March. And we are looking at 13 past 6 o'clock, 5.4 here. How is it over in Melbourne, Brad?
Yeah, it's going all right, Manny. We're about 7 or 8 degrees and feels like 1. No. As I say, we always have a chuckle over here. You can have all 4 seasons in one day. Well, we were having all 4 seasons every 15 minutes yesterday. It was fantastic.
Here we go. Let's find out about this.
After a huge weekend of racing and sport, we can all do with a Sunday saviour to round out the punting weekend in winning style. The Tab Touch Sunday Saviour is here to sweeten your Sunday on the punt. It's over to the boys to provide this week's edition of Tab Touch Sunday Saviour.
Yes, 2, 3, 4-leg multi. You know how it works. Soph will have last week's winner for us very soon. And the highest winning multi 2, 3, 4-legger is going to win a $100 Tab Touch voucher. Gee whiz. One off the text line from Snoz here before we get to our good mate Sul. Morning, Marty, Brad. Politics and sport don't have anything in common. Usman Khawaja, blatant anti-Semite. He wants to meet the PM to sanction Israel to win the war in Gaza. Seriously, what does he have to say about Hamas? Shame on you, Usman. You should follow the Iranian ambassador. Can you remember what he said about his own brothers? Fake terror plot. No, he can't recall. Time to retire and get on with the Australian way. That is from Snoz. We had a bit of an eruption about this, I think, during the week on Drive. I did anyhow. Just keep out of it, mate.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of issues, political and social, that I think too many get involved in. Let's have an opinion, absolutely, but don't try and push it down someone else's throat. There's no problem with having a thought for yourself. I'm all for that. But, don't use your position as a power sports person or whatever to engage in that sort of stuff. We've got enough people to worry about that. The Australian cricket team, they are sort of repeat offenders when it comes to this. And now the captain's pushing, what was it, a $10 million, wasn't it, fund for Cricket for Climate? Yeah. It just confounds me, to be brutally honest. But unfortunately, we have politicians who get seduced by it, and again, as a photo op more than anything else, I reckon, because genuinely, I mean that's why unfortunately we elect them to make those decisions.
Well, here's a man, if you don't listen to Friday Drive and follow Sul, I think he's put together a month of winning drive-by quaddies and multis, and he joins us right now. James Sully Sullivan, there should be a fanfare for this.
Hello, Marty. Hello, Brad. And I tell you what, you talk about politics and sport. I think one of our next NRL teams has got a fair bit to do with that, haven't we? Papua New Guinea.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. I was very happy Friday night, mate. It was you don't get $21 multis very often when you got two players to score a try. And, mate, when Sean Bloor scored, I was happy. They didn't score many more after the Storm.
You got it early. This was, and to any listeners who weren't aboard on Friday night, Sean Bloor, who was the second leg of your try-scoring double, he went over in about the 10th or the 7th or something like that?
It's clearly etched in my mind. It was about the 6th minute. And after young Leka Halasima came off the bench for the Warriors and scored a double.
Yep.
So, it's very nice. But what a great round of footy.
It's been terrific. Yeah. Terrific.
We saw a thriller last night, Brad, up there at Townsville. And I tell you what, I think Ashley Klein, the demise of Ashley Klein from the referees is he's just slipping down the pole now because he needs to go to Specsavers this week.
Is that the send-off?
No, how did he miss the forward pass?
Okay.
The forward pass, Shibasaki to Billy Walters. Well, yeah, it was a metre forward, but play on. Oh.
Hey, Sal, I know you spoke to Marty on Drive on Friday, but can you just recap for the listeners who obviously listened to the aftermath? I mean, the Bulldogs and the Panthers, Cleary pulled that stunt. I mean, we talk about it in AFL and, people say, they're tanking, etc. He changed 15 in the end, or 15 or 16 in the end, and and they got hammered, but they obviously got a plan because they couldn't go up or couldn't go down, so to speak. How was it received in NRL world?
Yeah, it was 16, Brad. And the big thing, I think, and it affected the rest of the club. Their New South Wales Cup side got knocked out last night. They were playing for a final spot. Their flag got beat. But the bottom line, how it's been received, mate, is a few years ago we also had a giggle when the AFL had that last round bye, after the last round, sorry.
Yep.
And after what we've seen from the broadcasters who aren't happy, don't be surprised. I'm starting to get the feeling. I spoke to a few people at GIA last night, and at the end of the day, because they're now looking at the Raiders, for example, will they rest a few next week? But mate, at the end of the day, I think that bye after the last round might happen in the NRL moving forward. And I tell you what, you talk about that game, and the Panthers, as you know, their New South Wales Cup side went up. There was 16 of them. Mate, they got beat 28-4. It was 10-0 at half-time against the full strength. I know kick-out didn't play. Bulldogs had 58% of the footy as well. So, geez, they were brave, the Panthers, and that was the big thing for me. The Bulldogs, they might have got the points, but gee whiz, they weren't that. didn't impress me at all.
Okay, let's go back to Friday night. We need to cover these two games off. First off, the Eels. They were terrific against the Warriors. This was a game and a half, wasn't it? Gee, it was a tough game and the Warriors kept coming, but the Eels kept finding something to win 26-22 in the big upset.
Yeah, it was. Then they led 12-4 at half-time, bouncing off that great win against the Roosters last week. The Eels, they started so well. And as you mentioned, they did come home, the Warriors. I mentioned him earlier, Halasima grabbed the double. But, yeah, it was 4 tries each in the end, so it was goal-kicking that proved the difference. So that's hurt the Warriors as we look at the ladder today, that they're out of the 4 for, it's been a while since they've dripped out of the 4, but they are now. So it was one of those games, and then obviously the big one after that.
Yeah, milestone, millstone sometimes, and Craig Bellamy, magnificent effort, 600 games. They often refer to him, a.k.a. Bellyache. I tell you what, he had one after the game.
Oh, didn't he? What, Brad? They asked him, what did you think of that? He says, did you watch the game? We got beaten 40-0, second half. He said that's unacceptable. And I know, to be fair, I know that they had a few out as well. He rested 4, plus no Grant, no Hughes. But it's interesting, Marty. I went back. I thought I had a bit of a giggle Friday night because you asked me about the Roosters. And you said, where can they win the game? And I said, Nawonga need Tawasi and Tedesco.
Yep.
Nawonga need Tawasi grabs 4.
Yeah.
And James Tedesco grabs 1. So, yeah, this Roosters side, I think I really do. I know last week's loss to the Eels sort of spun them in rebound a little bit, but I think they've got enough. They've got a big. They play the Rabbitohs next week. That's like a grand final for the Rabbitohs. But I think they've done enough now to make the 8. They're for and against is a lot superior to the Manly Sea Eagles, who are 2 points behind them.
Hey, but those Eels have been in some hot form over the last, say, a month or so since Moses come back into the team.
Yeah, it's a big in, isn't it? And we talk about ins in any sport, and he is such a factor, Mitchell Moses. But what we're seeing, Jason Riles is, first-time coach. He's slowly but surely. He's got a nice young pack that work hard. Hopgood's been amazing all year, and he's just got better when Moses has come back. So moving forward, young Joas Papali'i, he's been good since he's come into the side as well at 5'8". So little combinations are just starting to happen. And I think if you're an Eels supporter, as we know, we've got a lot over there with the McDermott boys and Shane Williams, to name a couple. But, moving forward, they'll be excited.
It's not a bad front pack. Yeah. Two McDermotts and Williams up the front. They've got a bit of size about them. Eh?
Who's the hooker out of that front row?
I think it's Matty.
Hey, Sully, regulation for the Raiders over the Tigers, really, but kudos to Ricky and Ricky Stewart. I mean, because it hasn't all been plain sailing for him over the last few years. I can remember you saying a couple of times he was in the hot seat, whether they kept going with him or not, but that's certainly been put to bed now.
Yeah, I had a good chat to him on Thursday night, and he was nervous Thursday night because he knew this West Tigers side had come because they got nothing to lose. And I'll tell you what, I was talking to a few of the players last night when I was leaving the ground, and they said out on the field it was a real battle. West Tigers came in, and it was 18-10 for a long time in that second half. They scored that late try through Ethan Strange. So, as you said, Brad, first minor premiership since 1990 for the Canberra Raiders. So it is special for them. And now, the best thing about it, they get 2 home finals. So, obviously they got the first one, and then the second one is they get beaten first up. So, but an opportunity to play finals footy. She was humming last night, GIA.
Yeah, it would have been a very strong second half, wasn't it, from the Raiders. The next game, the Seagulls, 40, beat the dangerous Dragons, 24.
Yeah, 22-6 at half-time, and Dragons came home solidly, but the Seagulls did enough. Corey Waddell grabbing that double, and then, as we say, it just kept them alive. They're 2 points behind the Roosters, so they need things to go their way next weekend.
And, of course, you touched on it last night. Give us a little quick overview of the Bronx over the Cowboys. Kept them in the top 4, the Broncos. And, we've got the Warriors right up there, Ginger. And a big game next week against the Storm. Yeah,
mate, that is a big game. We knew that, obviously, what happened with the Storm. But, yeah, as you say, 22-18 at half-time. 40 points in the opening 40 minutes. Packed house at Townsville was too, but Yeah, they got away, as I said, that forward pass sort of just made it a little bit comfortable, and then Big Payne Hart sealed the deal at the back end of the game. But, yeah, they're into the four. It's been a long time since the Broncos have been there. And you listen to a few people, they know that they got points in them. That's the big key. But, you know, Reynolds might be there at the back end. But, geez, Hunt and Billy Walters have been good in the half since they've gone there.
I just saw the forward pass then. Wow. How'd you miss that?
Specsavers.
Yeah. But now just help me with this one. Braden Burns, when he got 10 in the sin bin on the late charge on Reece Walsh, how did you sit on that?
Yeah, it's one of those. We've seen it all year, though, haven't we? You know,
Okay.
You touch them.
Yep.
Yeah. As soon as you get a touch on them, that's the way it is now. Off you go. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
And did Maguire give him one of the good old time sprays at half time? Is there still a place for fire and brimstone in rugby league?
Michael Maguire, that's Madge. He was just stating some facts about, you know, as you said, you know, as we said, there was 40 points scored, but that's Madge. That's what we love about him, and I love seeing it. He just told a few home troops, and they got the 2 points at the back. He wouldn't be happy with that, though. He wouldn't be happy with that points against them.
Okay, let's have a look at these two games today. The Sharks, and they should have the Knights here. $1.09, $7.50, 18.5. Total points, 49.5. And these Dolphins are $1.50. Gold Coast Titans at $2.60. That's 5.5 and 55.5.
Yeah, well, it's the two sack coaches featuring today, of course, in Adam O'Brien for the Knights and Desi Hadler for the Titans, but they're still there. That's the thing. There hasn't been an interim coach, so I don't know if we'll go with that little theory, lads. Knights haven't won at Shark Park since 2014, so and the Sharks, yeah, it's a big game for the Sharks, and they need to get back into that top four, so I think they'll do the job there. The Dolphins, they need to rectify. You talk about leaking points. They've leaked 160 points in their last three, and that's been 3 losses. So they've dropped out of the 8. They really need to hone in there today. I think, I'm going to go the Dolphins. But, oh, geez, I'll tell you what, the Titans, nothing to lose. We've seen it on occasions, nothing to lose. But I think the Hammer, what's the Hammer scored? 17 tries in his last 11 games at Suncorp. So maybe he's the man that can put his hand up.
Right. How's our double looking? What are we doing here?
I am going to do a double. As I said, I like the Sharks and the Dolphins, but it's a little bit short. So we're going to go a same game combo. First game, Sharks win into KL Hero to score a try, and into the Dolphins win, and I just mentioned him, the Hammer, Tabuai Fidel. So Sharks win, Hero to score. Dolphins win, Tabuai Fidel to score, $4.82. And then we will have a try any time, Marty and Brad. Adam Faneuil-Blake from the Sharks into Connolly Lemuelu for the Dolphins, $7.80.
$7.80. Okay. Now, is a top 8 set? There's a text here from Les. Is the top 8 set at the moment? Do Roosters get in and Sea Eagles miss?
I think they do. Yeah, I think they do. The points differential, of course, Sea Eagles are 2 points behind the Roosters. So at this stage, I'm happy to say that, the points differential, and obviously Sea Eagles got to win next week. The points differential is 82 points.
Yeah.
So it's a big differential. Sea Eagles have got they've got the Warriors next week. So it's an important game for the Warriors as well. But at this stage, I would say even if the Roosters get beat and the Sea Eagles win, Roosters will finish in 8.
And the second part of this text from Les, he wants to know, can the Raiders win it?
We're in a good position too. We know the history. We know the story about in the top 4. There's a lot of people saying, maybe someone out of the top 4 can win it this year. On their day, this Raiders side can score points. So that's the key. To answer his question, I think they can. I could think at least they'll make a long run in September.
I'm just looking at the record books. The last time the Canberra Raiders won it. Geez, we're going back a bit, aren't we?
Oh, they're a long time now.
1994?
Yeah.
94.
Beat Canterbury 36-12.
Yeah, 94. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they got a side that can do it. As I said, they've got a little bit of no fear footy in them. But, you know, the forward battle was the big key for them. So just be interested. Have they got a number of class players to do it? That'll be the question we'll ask probably in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Hey, Bradley, our man Sully, he'll have the green Guernsey on there. Oh, him and his old mate Ricky Stewart. Oh, wow.
You know what I've got? I've got a barbecue this afternoon. I've got green sausages. There's a butcher. There's a butcher in Queanbeyan that has sold, no joke, lads. He reckons he'll sell 2.5 tonne of these green sausages. Everyone's buying them.
They just won the minor premiership. Imagine if they win the premiership.
I tell you what, Brad, picture this. You got a bag full of green sausages. You know what it looks like if you're walking with a dog.
Okay. Hey, so on that note, we'll listen in on Thursday.
Hey, good luck to everyone in the city to surf over there today too.
Should be fantastic. Thanks, Sol.
Bye-bye, Nate. Bye.
Oh, Brad, this is our mantra for today. Just take it easy out there. Just take it easy. There's a lot of unrest. Just chill. Do it easy,
my
Brad.
Opportunity. Exactly. I just missed my opportunity to ask Sully. There's a bit of John Worsfold about the Canberra Raiders, because I can recall when you said 1994, Mel Meninga, Ricky Stewart, Bradley Clyde, those superstars. So, you know, he's played in the last premiership they've won, and now he's got a chance to perhaps coach the next one. How good's that?
Yeah, there you go.
That would be some sort of feat.
That would, yeah, that'd be a bit of a feat, wouldn't it? That is for sure. A quick one from Murray off the text line, and then we'll discuss this a little further on because Chris Nelson is champing. Morning, boys.
Yes. Chomping.
Something to think about, the AFL's AA selection. Dacos is named MVP, more Americanised rubbish, yet is sitting on the bench in the team. It tells me that the AFL already knows the Brownlow winner, and Dacos isn't it. That is from Mario. He's always hard-hitting, Mario, straight to the point.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of conspiracy theories, but it didn't make a lot of sense, did it? And, you know, I'm on the record as saying it's not my favourite thing, and it'll be forgotten, thank God, in a few minutes' time. How does he win the MVP and be on the bench? Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And how does Jeremy Cameron become captain? He's never captained a game of marbles. So, you know, it's a slap in the face. There's 5 great captains in that team, particularly Jordan Dawson, the fellow from Dawson from Adelaide. Their team finished at the top of the ladder. He's in the frame to at least be in the top 3 to 5 in the Brownlow if he doesn't win it. And they give it to Jeremy Cameron. That's what you do.
Yeah, and what made it worse is Cameron basically said, I wouldn't want to be captain. You know, so Chris Nelson.
He hides. He's at the back of the huddles every time.
Chris Nelson's not a captain. He's a lord, and he joins us right now. G'day, Lord Nelson.
I'm neither. Good morning, Marty. Good morning, Brad.
Oh, it was a bit rough and ready. What was going on at Rose Hill yesterday?
Yeah, it was a bit tight down near the fence in a couple of those races, wasn't it? That's for sure. And we saw some suspensions and some unfortunate incidents there in those couple of races. The Woderton race, but before that, obviously, the Grand Prairie race with Tyreek. So, yes, we can discuss that first if you'd like.
Yeah, well, let's just talk about the suspension itself. Tom Sherry, 7th of the 9th to the 8th of the 10th, careless riding, shifting in. Gee, I thought he was a bit lucky to get only that much.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. He pushed into a gap there that really wasn't there at about the 350, and then when he started riding along on Grand Prairie, the horse went inwards, and of course we know what happened. J-Mac was the meat in the sandwich, and poor old Tyreek on the fence got poleaxed. And yeah, I think you're probably right. If he took that gap that wasn't there, and it did say that in the steward's report, a gap that basically wasn't able to be taken or shouldn't have been taken, and only got a month, and we saw what happened to Tyreek, and what could have happened to Dylan Gibbons. I think you're right, Marty. I think a month is pretty easy. Well, not easy, but
on the lenient side,
penalty.
Yep.
Yeah, on the lenient side for what happened and what he did. So, yeah, I'm sure he'd be feeling like absolute garbage this morning.
Yeah, he would do.
Feel terrible after what happened. So I feel for Tommy Sherry, but yeah, I think he probably got away with that lightly.
Yeah, well, it's a funny feeling because I got to admit I was on it. There was a good tip for it, and I thought we were in all sorts of trouble at the top of the running, and then he found a way through, bulldozed his way through. So the punters rejoice, but not at that expense.
No.
No, it's not the way you like to win races, that's for sure. But look, Grand Prairie, once he did get out, and once he did get into the clear, he was level with Thermoy, who came wide, but he clearly out-sprinted Thermoy to the line and was too good there. So, yeah, strange sort of race. Obviously, we forget the run of Providence as well. Got into that trouble, but I don't get any stars coming out of the up-and-coming this year.
This amazing run of Yulong on the day sort of started here. Well, it didn't start here, but it was, the glimpse of it in Sydney, and then we saw what happened at Caulfield. They could just dominate the spring.
Yeah, you're not wrong. They've got plenty of good buys over the last few years and good horses, and treasure the moment. I mean, how good is she? 9 straight, and somebody put up a tweet yesterday. What do you think her best distance range is? And I think I replied, said every one of them. There's nothing she can't do. She just keeps winning, and she's the new star. So I can't wait to see her. As I've said many times, this is going to be an absolute A+ spring.
Yep.
And it's already kicked off that way with last week and this week. So, and Melbourne and Sydney. So bring it on.
Yeah, what about race 7? Catch the Glory, Adam Hieronymus and Jason Coyle. Without parallel, didn't much. He got terrorised up the front. And can you leave me out of the boom on Rosalind Star?
Yeah, well, Rosalind Star was really good first up, but sat outside without parallel here, Brad, as you know, and they both folded up in the straight. So the tempo wasn't overly strong here by any means. So they were a little bit disappointing, I thought, both of them. Catch the Glory was 3 back on the fence and then saved some good ground into the straight when that gap came. Catch the Glory charged through. I mean, if you run this race 100 times, I'm not sure how many times Catch the Glory would win it. But he did yesterday, and he beat Polyglot, who was running on well again. He looks really close. So Cosman Over made some good ground down the outside. Dance to the boom. I thought every possible chance there. So, yeah, a couple of bubbles burst there, certainly without parallel. Maybe Dance to the Boom and Rosalind Star were disappointing. So probably Polyglot going forward can win a similar race, Cosman Over similar.
Okay, where do we sit with the San Domenico Stakes? Again, interference, Raging Force, race fitness. Yeah. He was there to be beaten, laid in late, tightened up Woderton. Stewards deemed that it wouldn't have changed the result, placing Stan Bivok back in third, Rivellino fourth, and Tommy Berry 23 days.
Yeah, really quick sprint home here. They ran this race in fast time, so Raging Force was good. I don't know about you guys. I thought Woderton was just starting to eat into that margin when that check happened around the 100-metre mark when Raging Force laid in on top of Woderton. Now, I don't know that Woderton would have gone past Raging Force. I don't think you can say that. But I think he would have got a lot closer, and he would have cut that margin to maybe a head or less than half a length, around a quarter of a length on the line. I thought he was doing his best work when that happened. So
Great.
I can't wait to see them clash again. And if they do, and when they do, I think I'll be on Woderton next time. Biwak, I don't know how you pronounce that. It's right up there with your Roberus.
Baywatch.
Wide, no
it's called Baywatch.
Baywatch.
After Mark Bayless.
I love it. So going forward out of that race, nothing against Raging Force, but I want to be on Woderton next time.
Well, it was a massive tip that in race 9, I'm not even going to try and say its name, but it was going to go to the front and prove its position, and didn't. And none better than the Hippo to be on that when you're doing that sort of stuff.
Estadio Mastala, Brad. How's that sound?
Yeah, perfect.
Estadio Mastala. Love it.
Sounds like I like Estrella beer.
Bit early.
Yeah.
Oh,
look, ran them along here, as you mentioned, straight to the front, set up the speed here and just kept on going. Won by over a length, was a good win. Mikhail, a very good first-up horse, is now beaten for the first time, fresh. 3 wins from 4 goes now, ran a good second. There was a couple of eye catches going forward, and they were Strathay and Half Yours, who, of course, won the Caloundra Cup up here and is heading towards the Cups down south. Both of those horses hit the line well. And they're the 2 that I'd probably be following out of the race.
Okay, what about from the meeting before we go to Eagle Farm?
We are following Woderton, definitely, and we are following Half Yours over further. going forward. So just those two at this stage. It was a funny old meeting, I thought, at Rosehill yesterday. Personally, I just couldn't get near them, but that's my issue, no one else's.
When you say follow Woden, where do you think he can get to? What are we looking at? Are we 3-year-old Cox Plate, do you think, or is that too far?
No, I don't think he's that level. No, I don't think he's that level. What does he head towards, a Caulfield Guineas or something like that? That's probably where he'd be going, as are a lot of others. And I don't think he's top level. I just think he would account for Raging Force next time. He needs to do a lot more yet than he's done for mine. I know he ran well in a slipper, but I don't know. He's only won the one race. Keep that in mind. So I'd like to see him do a little bit more before I got carried away with him.
I'm not sure if he gets to the mile. I think he might be 12, 14 tops, somewhere around there. Let's go to Eagle Farm. It was a good 4. Tell us how the track played.
Yeah, well, look, they got to the outside most races in the straight, but we did get to a good 3, which I thought we would midway through the day. Yeah, It was pretty windy yesterday and hasn't rained here all week. And Ryan Maloney did say after the winner ready for the trip in race 3 that he thought a few horses might struggle on the firm ground. I think probably they did. I think Free Carry struggled, the odds-on favourite early on. He didn't seem to really pick up in the straight at all. So that's what happens at Eagle Farm. It can get very firm.
Yep, race 4, want to be brutal for Kelly Schwader and Ben Thompson, who's riding up a storm.
He is, and what do we do with this horse, Cyber City? I mean, do we blame the track? This was the horse that won by 5.5 lengths 2 weeks ago at $51. This time he runs second last as a $2.80 favourite. He led. The pace was pretty strong, but the horses that were up there with him, they stuck on. He didn't. So what do you do with a horse like that? I think the stewards were probably entitled to ask more of the trainer. You can't just be doing that, winning at $50 and then getting beaten as favourite next start. Now, I don't think there was enough questions asked there. Anyway, that's another story. Want to be brutal was too strong. Whispering Rogue ran well. Lonesome Soul is the one we need to follow. She just keeps on running on over 1,400 metres. When she gets to a mile, we will be on her.
Yeah. Punters were giggling in race 6. What a ride. And that Golden Stable's on fire with Give Giggles.
Yeah, Give Giggles is on fire. Tony Gollan's on fire, or it seems to be. Ben Thompson's on fire, so a nice little treble there. Give Giggles she's a mare that had no luck at her last prep, and Tony Gollan also put his hand up and said he got the prep wrong. He put her in some wrong races, etc. Nothing went right. Well, she's hit her straps this time around, and she's really loving her racing. So she'll keep on winning until she doesn't, being a mare. Then they'll send her for a break. Battlefield was good. He was last, 7 lengths off the lead. Warby was third last. Those two, Warby was first up. Battlefield was second up. They were both good efforts. They'll win races soon. And the other one there, Pocketing, who ran some nice races at group level last start. He was first up too, and he was doing his best work late. He's another Yulong horse, I think, too, in those colours running on. So that could be a good form race going forward, and certainly taking nothing away from the winner.
Yeah, and the Eagle Farm celebrating 160 years, 1,400 open, and good, tough fighting finish by Bullion Boy and Amur.
Yeah, it was. Bullion Boy had the 52, Brad. Amur had the 55. Last time out a few weeks ago, Amur just held off Bullion Boy, but he was too strong this time around. He had a lovely run. Georgina Cartwright, she doesn't get enough opportunities in town. She sometimes turns up on these favourites, and she never lets the punters down. I remember doing it a couple of times over the last couple of years. So well done for Georgie Cartwright. Amur was game with the weight. Ducasse ran on really well first up. And Queen Air obviously needs further. She just couldn't get into that race, but she was only beaten 4.5 lengths. She'll take good benefit from that run, I would suggest.
Yeah, she looked pretty big in the yard to my eye, that is for sure. So horses to follow there, and then are we going to Warwick today?
No, we're not going to Warwick. So, look, there's a couple there I could ship you, but I don't want to. I like Warwick. It's a good track. They all get their chance there, but no, I won't. Eagle Farm, we follow Lonesome Soul out of race 4. And out of race 6, we will follow Battlefield, Warby and Pocketing. And that takes nothing away, as I said, from Give Giggles, who can probably win again also.
And the old trick, Magnetaire, was doubly accepted, and they scratched it from one and it won the next. Gee, that's a good lead, isn't it?
It is, and while they dawdled in front, Magnetaire was able to zoom home in, 33.81 officially, so they were never going to get near it. Although did duck out a little bit or shift round in the straight when Electrona was starting to make some ground, but I don't think Electrona would have got past, beaten 2 lengths. So certainly well placed. And yet the dual acceptors, I mean, we're up here, Marty, we seem to get 50 dual acceptors each week. That's the problem. So you just got to find the right one.
Which one?
Hey, boys,
Exactly.
just quickly being mischievous before we let you go, Chris. Nominations for the Cox Plate. They were in alphabetical order, of course. Number 95, Treasure the Moment. Number 99, Via Sustina. Number 105, Woderton.
Okay.
Yeah.
So obviously someone thinks it can stay.
Yeah, well, I couldn't see Woderton getting anywhere near those two mares, really.
Okay.
No.
Okay, Chris, we've got to get moving. We've got Racetrack Ralphy next. Thanks for coming on. We'll listen on Wednesday.
Good on you guys. Have a great Sunday.
Cheers, mate.
2 lengths in front of Here to Shock, who's trying to chase hard. Then came Mr. Brightside. Treasure the Moment, the insiders making up ground, followed by another Will up the middle from Antino and Fangirl. Here to Shock up the pinstripe, but Treasure the Moment got the split at the 250. Mr. Brightside's trying to hunt her down, then Antino. Treasure the Moment, 150 metres to go, is 2 lengths in front of Mr. Brightside. The new Group 1 kid on the block. She's a star. Treasure the Moment from Mr. Brightside. Buckaroo, what a return third. Then
There it is, the Group 1 Memsy from yesterday. Racetrack Ralphy joins us to talk about it. Hi, Ralphy.
Oh, good morning, boys. Get excited. Yeah, it's been a long, long winter of slow horses, but they got better good yesterday, and that was a fair starting point, wasn't it?
I hope you got the data through, have you?
I haven't, unfortunately, but I'm pretty confident. I mean, the good thing with the Memsy yesterday, what was there, 1,400 metre races yesterday, they obliterated the rest. And what they did do, they absolutely flew in front, which was obvious. So, you know, Treasure Moment, I was just looking at what we wrote up about a previous PB at Flemington, which was the mile. And we said, is it possible to underrate a filly who's won 5 in a row?
Yep.
Well, we can still say the same thing, you know. Like, we just don't know what the ceiling is. So she's smashed them. I'd say, and we've got a lot of races to get through, but I'd say that a couple of little points worth making. One is that I would say that's Mr. Brightside as good as he can go at this stage of his career now. I'd be he'll improve a little bit, but I don't think he's a betting conveyance going on from here. I know there's a lot of, there'd be excitement in the Hayes game, be around second. He was smashed. So how's he going to turn the tables? But a couple others, Fangirl was just never comfortable with that big speed at Caulfield 1400 off the bit. I wouldn't fall over if she beat Treasure in the Moment over a mile at Flemington. Now, that's not to say I'm underrating what Treasure in the Moment did. It's just saying I know what the best of Fangirl is. And she's a big track, miler, where you can relax in your stride and then finish off. They just didn't get that opportunity. And when you can add a horse like Antino, who's a star, beaten 4.5 lengths, and another Will, who's a star, beaten 6 lengths, I think that all just adds up that there are a couple to forgive there. And wouldn't even be surprised if Visit Me ran a race in the Rupert Clark off this. I think it's $26 on Tab Touch. So, getting away from these. So it's a very, very strong race. Believe in Treasure of the Moment. Believe in Buckaroo, that is, again, a Cups contender. But don't write off Fangirl, Antino, or another Will for different reasons.
Morning, Ralphie. Marty and I were talking off the top. What do you think her best distance is going to be, Treasure of the Moment?
It's fascinating, Brad, because there's a second thing in play here with Yulong. I mean, what do they want? Because, I don't think as big as they are, they'll tell Chris Waller what to do. But if they said to Matt Laurie, look, we've got Via Sustina humming, and I'm talking about like in October, assuming every horse is in good order. We've got Via Sustina humming. We'd rather win the King Charles and the Golden Eagle. Can you send her there? Well, I don't think Matt Laurie's going to tell you what to do. So I think there's that sort of in place. So unless you knew what they wanted, but I think if she went to the mile at Randwick and then the Golden Eagle, wow, that's going to be she's going to take a power beating there as well.
Big paydays.
And the Sustina wins the Cox Plate.
Yeah. Now let's skip the first three unless you want to look at them.
Well, a couple worth noting.
Okay.
The King's Horse, that was the perfect kick-off run for Gilded Water. I reckon next up for sure yet. Gala Queen needs a firm track mile. Fleming will be its go, but super return from on display. And then Athanatos definitely in race 3, big return.
Okay, so Gilded Water, Gala Queen, she was good, and Athanatos in race 3. Go to race number 4. How did you rate the win here of Revelare?
Well, I thought this was a bonus win, and when the time comes out, and I'm talking raw times, I haven't got Vince's stuff yet, but 2:04.7 and home in 36. So I think that's sort of a bit of a walk dash home. and Revelare, good turn of foot. Declan Bates pulled the trigger at the 600, which was smart riding. He obviously knew that, they hadn't gone quick. So he's just a really nice horse. Robbie Hickman's got a good one, but dear me, boys, Middle Earth, wowee, this was a Bart Cummings type return. And put a big circle around it. It's targeted one race, the Melbourne Cup. It reminds me of Green Moon when it won its cameo in the autumn, and then sole focus for the Melbourne Cup. So it could not have gone better, Middle Earth.
Yeah, race 5 I thought was excellent as well. I got to admit I was on El Rocco, but Too Darn Discreet looked in trouble coming to the turn.
Yeah, absolutely. And then she was really nice and fit, and so was El Rocco. So big tip to the rider Jet Stanley on El Rocco, made the others chase and feel pain. So Too Darn Discreet. I thought it was overs on Saturday morning when I put my stuff out. It was 550. Well, the robots are on the way to building another museum for themselves because they crunched this one into low threes. Statuario was very good first up. It's in for a nice prep, but of course the races get tougher from here. But I'm sure they'll be delighted. And the others out the back, well, there was 2 races.
Yes, there was.
There was the 600-metre mark, wasn't there? So a lot of them were just in nowhere land, and they'll improve from here going forward and fitter and up in distance.
McNeil Stakes, gee, this was another win, wasn't it? Tycoon Star.
Yeah, well, I stamped it. And the hard thing Saturday morning, boys, was that there was a lot of rain about. You just weren't sure how the track was going to get affected, but it ended up only being slow 5 at worst. And yeah, this was a win. I stamped it against Jimmy Ricard last start. Jimmy Ricard was race fit running through the winter. Tycoon Star was first up. I'm still in the corner rocking after its Blue Diamond defeat at the big odds. So it's a good horse, Tycoon Star. McCaw, though, I think they'd be delighted with it. I would say McCaw hasn't got a Group 1 in it, but Tycoon Star. And what we've got is a real nice apples-to-apples comparison because they both run 110 with the mares that we'll get to. So I think Tycoon Star is a very, very nice horse. The races get harder from here, but he's a real contender in a race like a Coolmore, or even if they decide to go up in distance to the Guineas.
I know you haven't got the data yet, but geez, a good win by Tropicus. Because when Zarastro takes a long time to get to the front, you know they're going.
100%. Now, a couple of things here. The one niggling doubt I had with Zarastro, I thought, I wonder if he left his trial out there. And he trialled so well that I reckon he didn't recover from it. There you go. So Don't write off Zarastro, but Tropicus, nice early flag here for everyone. Be wary of underrating Team Freedman. He's a very good trainer, Sam Freedman, in his own right, and he's got the Melbourne stable humming. In the last 6 weeks, they've had several winners at big odds resuming. So I reckon and this Tropicus won like he trialled, and I was face palming myself for not, giving it more respect. Arkansas Kid put on the speed yesterday, was fine. But this was all about the return of Tropicus. He's a real contender for good sprints coming up.
And the Cochrane Stakes. Our special guest in the next hour is Grahame, Begg, and Magic Time resumes for Michael D.
Well, look, get your runners on responsibly, of course, but this is $8.50 I looked on Tab Touch before, this is $8.50 for the Rupert Clark each way. And we're going to get to Sepples. I would take her every day of the week in the Rupert Clark. 3 weeks' time is her initial grand final. Perfect first up run. They've ridden her quietly. She's just gone over the top and smashed them. And how's she not going to improve out of that? If it's wet, if it's dry, it doesn't matter. She's 1,400's her best distance. So to get an each-way play now on a horse that's running in 3 weeks' time at $8.50, I think it's just an amazing opportunity there. Mr. Mbini will stick to mares, and she'll probably win next start too. So both of those very keen on going forward.
You mentioned Seppel, so that was a very authoritative win in the last.
Well, it was, but what really surprised me, and I've only got the raw times here, but 124.4 is clearly the slowest of the 1400s. Now, That's not knocking Seppels, of course, but I'm just saying that there was no tempo there, and the giveaway is Estero running fourth at, $71, and he was in that lead pack, so they just got away from the others. Warning was terrible, but, terrific return from Seppels, but, it's priced at the moment on its 4-length win over Home Rule. Well, I've got no doubt that the best of Magic Time puts 8 lengths on Home Rule. So that's I just think that's a crazy match up there. A couple out the back like Chorlton Lane and See What I See. They're all sort of okay returns, but Seppels was terrific. But really, I think if we want to zero in on horses to follow early in the day on display at the Nardos, you're going to enjoy your Cups play if you want to tag one now for Middle Earth and definitely Magic Time, Mr. Mbini, the two mares there in that 8th race.
Well done, Ralphy. Thanks for that. Find all your good stuff for the spring on racetrackralphy.com.au. We'll do it again next week.
That's it. Can't wait.
Countdown to Kalgoorlie 2 for Ralphy and Dane Swan. A quick one off the text line. Hi, Marty Brad. Watched the Legends game the other night, and I have a question. If Cyril and Andrew McLeod nominate for the draft, do you think the Eagles should pick them with their first 2 picks, or do you think after re-signing Harley on a mammoth deal, the Eagles will battle to fit both of them in due to the salary cap, Rusty Gates?
Yeah, there's no doubt 2 superstars. Cyril's still playing up the top end, of course, and Andy McLeod's always been a Rolls Royce. And if you had an argument about who the best Adelaide Crow players ever been, I reckon Andrew McLeod might be in the discussion.
Yeah, it'd have to be right up there, wouldn't he? I think he is number 1, isn't he? Him and Rashudo, maybe.
Yeah, Rashudo. Mods. You don't forget Mods.
Yeah, Modra.
Kind of medal.
Tex Walker, top 5.
He'd be somewhere there. You think Tex would be, the way he's going.
News time. It is 8 minutes past 7. It's dropped down to 5.4 degrees here in Perth. Jimmy Barnes devotee over there in Melbourne is Brad Hardie. Oh, you would have caught up with Barnesy a few times, wouldn't you?
I actually shared a business class airfare with a ride down from Queensland. I did a show at Cooperoo after I'd won the Brownlow anyway, and I was legless. I was just, when you get on and you're not really going well. Anyway, so I'm sitting there in my chair, and they're fussing over this bloke sitting next to me. I'm thinking, well, hang on, I'm in business too here. Don't I get a little bit of love? Anyway, all the girls are coming down, and can I get you this? Can I get you that? What about me? And then anyway, I looked at the bloke and asked him what he was doing, and he said, I've just been to Queensland for a concert. I said, who are you? He said, Jimmy Barnes.
He said, how much have you had?
This weather update on the Aftermath is brought to you by Tab Touch.
Okay, here in Perth, 5.4, looking at a beautiful day, 21 degrees for the last day of winter. Broome, sunny, 34. Karratha is 30, Port Hedland 32, Carnarvon 27, Geraldton 22, Northam 20, Kalgoorlie 19, Mandurah 17, Pinjarra is 18, Bunbury partly cloudy 17, Albany 19, Esperance is 20, 21 in Perth. How about over there in Melbourne? Brad, what are we looking at?
It's rocketed up to 12 degrees, Marty, at the moment, and probably going to peak out at about 13, I reckon. So, anyway.
After a huge weekend of racing and sport, we can all do with a Sunday saviour to round out the punting weekend in winning style. The Tab Touch Sunday Saviour is here to sweeten your Sunday on the punt. It's over to the boys to provide this week's edition of Tab Touch Sunday Saviour.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4-leg multi concluded today. Highest winning returning multi wins $100 Tab Touch voucher. That's the way we play, and we will have last week's winner pretty soon. Hey, Brad, why don't we get yours nice and early?
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I'm pushing the envelope here today, folks. So we're going to Wyong. So Wyong, race 3, number 8, Dreamside, resuming for Gerald, $1.90. Looks a winnable race. Then we'll go to race 4, number 5. We'll go to the race-to-race double. Sanctified, who ran a place in the Black Opal last time. It's resuming $2.60. And there's a first starter, race 5, number 9, What a Legacy for Bjorn Baker. Drawn out, but did run a very tidy trial against Skyhook, one of your favourites, recently at $2.35. So 3-8, 4-5, 5-9, all at Wyong. Roll them together, $11.60. And if you get a little bit of a boost somewhere on Tab Touch or the like, you might get into the 12s.
Hey, Brad, no winner from last week. No winner last week.
Horrid weekend it was.
Oh, no, not for you, for the Tab Touch Sunday Saviours. So,
as I'm saying, it was a torrid weekend for results.
All right, here we go. Good morning, Marty, Brad, Sophie and Dougal. Marty, has Lindsay set up base in Tasmania? I'm not sure, mate, what he's up to. If not, what is the thought process behind his horses going down to the Apple Isle? I don't imagine transportation will be cheap. Whoever that is, I can't help you there. I was surprised there wasn't a protest by J. Mac on Woderton. Did they not protest there, Brad? I thought he would have protested for sure.
Yeah, I think Chris was on the money. He was winding up and just got a little in, but the winner did straighten quickly as he could. So, yeah, probably felt as though there was just a little bit too big a margin.
Now, from Lisa of Allenbrook, a very good morning to you, Lisa, and to Mick. Morning, team. Marty is sounding better than last week. You and Rusty sounded very gravelly. Rusty and Dusty. That was a very good call. I got to say, Brad, we got a lot of listeners at the racecourse there on the Sunday for the Tats Cup meeting, and quite a few thought that was a very, very choice term for the two of us. I was naturally in trouble because I had the flu, but Rusty disappeared into the night. He went to an engagement party, some 21-year-old engagement party, and I gave him a stern talking to Sunday morning. Said, you leave that business to me. Glenn, can't both be crook. Glenn Jakovich, who is on the All-Australian selection team, was on air yesterday, and he suggested that whoever is going to be the named captain has to be told beforehand so they are well prepared when they are asked questions. He had no problem with Cameron as captain and Nick Dacos on the bench with 4 other midfielders. Brad, have you heard who's taking over from Jared Schofield? Take care, enjoy your day, have a great week.
Yeah, no, Jacko, yeah. I mean, Jacko's one of 10, so we're not lining up Jacko. We said that yesterday on PR. But basically, he's a voice in the wilderness too, but you've got to be firm and strong on this. I mean, no. Did Jeremy Cameron sound as though he knew it was going to be captain? No, I don't think so. I just think it... It's a drive-bow slap in the face to those 5 captains in the team. If there's no captains in the All-Australian team, you might go and give it to Buddy or Tom Hawkins, and they've done that in the past. But not if you've got 5 really, really good candidates, Max Gawn, Jordan Dawson, Marcus Bontempelli, so on, and Nick Dacos on the bench, seriously. Yeah. What game have I been watching all year?
No, I don't think they really get it right. It's one of those ones. I'm with you. You said it on Wednesday. I'd actually said that earlier on with Seb on the show, that it doesn't really turn me on too much, the whole All-Australian process. No. I guess if you're a player and you've got it on your CV, it looks very good on your CV, but what does it really matter?
It doesn't mean anything. And just unless they have a team coming down from Mars anytime soon to play. And then, of course, wouldn't you have Grundy as a second ruckman? Or Cherry as a second ruckman, or Darcy Cameron as a second ruckman. Yeah, and as I say, they had 10 hybrid midfielders / forwards, Cozzy Pickett, Zach Bailey, McGluggage, even Bailey Smith, who got a great year he's had. He was on the wing. Well, he hasn't been on the wing. He runs through the wing, but he never stopped there. You know what I mean? And the other thing with the captains too, because Jordan Dawson may not have another year like he's had. Now, let's hope he does. But if he doesn't, and he's got one opportunity to be, the All-Australian captain, surely you have to give it to him.
Agree 100%. And just on Waffle too, Brad, yesterday...
what happened yesterday?
Oh, the mighty Royals. I did tip this on Wednesday, that they'd be too good for Claremont. As underdogs, 10-6-66, beat Claremont 7-11-53. Very big game down there. Do you know what they call East Fremantle now?
Moss Street Ferries.
Good Grocer Park. The Good Grocer Park. Go down to the Good Grocer, and the Sharks are playing Perth. East Fremantle v Perth at Good Grocer.
Oh, I have to say it one more time for my Moss Street Ferry friends. How good is that view from the grandstand of the bowling club? It is magnificent. It is just absolute. How do you build a grandstand back to front? Only in East Fremantle.
All right. We've got Bobby Mellsop. What a win this was on Friday night here at Gloucester Park. Let's have a listen.
In the centre of the turn, 28-7, and on the outside, Soho Moonraker let go and raced up to Lincoln Lou. Soho Moonraker put the nose in front of Lincoln Lou, safer, and Louis Dior to the outside, no run, no noni, I'm Lightning Banner in the straight, Soho Moonraker on the outside is safer, Louis Dior is finishing hard, safer has raced up, taken the lead, Louis Dior, I'm Lightning Banner flies late, safer's in front and safer has won, safer from a photo, Louis Dior, I'm Lightning Banner.
It was a terrific race at Binshaw here on Friday night. Bobby Mellsop, who trains Safer, joins us. G'day, Bob.
Morning, gentlemen.
How are you?
Tad nippy.
Tad nippy. You working a few this morning, or we got a day off?
No, there's always some to work. No, I've got 4 to work today, the 3 to race Friday night, and the one that's racing tomorrow.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah, Brad wants to talk about this. I think he's had something on at the quietly at the big odds.
Well, I'm unabashed fan of Bob and Denny, to be brutally honest. But did you need to give her any instructions? You know, because obviously she eased out of that speed battle and wasn't the pace hot.
No, we thought about pushing the button. The bloke that finds the horses for me thought we should go forward. This horse has got super gate speed, and I mentioned that to Denny, and I said, I think we should go back and just tuck him away. He's run the week before from the back of the field, was great. So I don't give Denny a lot of instruction. She gives me more, I think.
but Bob, that's a very good point you make, because after the horse won, I went on air yesterday and had a look at its previous run, because somewhere along the line, might have been Hayden King said it was a good run last week, better than it looked. And it was really it was overlooked in this race, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's a nice horse. That's why we bought him.
Yep.
And, you know, he's only had a handful of starts. He's seen more of Australia than a lot of Australians. And he's raced in good company. So, one of the comments I got when I bought him was that he would never get around Gloucester Park. Well, he's come around there 4 wide the other day and never looked like doing anything wrong.
Yeah. And look, it was a good tough effort on, and the speed was on, and she did come out, you know, as you say, just going down the back there and heading to the turn, and really had to tough it out in the straight. It was never going to be a gimme.
No, that's for sure. It's a sign of a nice horse, isn't it?
It is, but he looks nice and strong too. He was in for the battle over that last, 50, 100 metres.
Yeah, for sure. He's probably still got improvement in him, yet he's still green, like he's still learning the caper. I think that was maybe his 20th start.
So
he's raced in good company.
Where does he fit into the landscape over here at the moment then after that win?
Well, it's going to get hard now. He's a level rated 90 now.
Right.
But I think he'll be competitive.
And
he doesn't owe us a lot of money anymore, I can tell you.
No, and the fact that you said the horse has got good gate speed as well, that gives him a little, he's got some tricks then, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah, that's one of his biggest assets is his gate speed, and we've yet to be in a position to use it. I think his next start he'll be drawn as probably one of the worst 90s, but he'll probably get the front. Well, I seem to be copping a bit of second rows lately, but it's life. And we might be able to use his gate speed with a bit of luck, but he's going to be a very hard horse to get over at Gloucester Park, even in good company.
Yeah.
So, go on.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Go on, Brad. No, you go.
No, I was just saying there was a couple of horses in the race with similar colours. Did you have a chance to? Was it under the same ownership, or was that just? Am I just?
No.
No, different.
No,
yeah.
Yeah, Cam's Boulder, blue and red.
Yeah.
My bloke's red, white, and he's got red, white, and blue. So there is a little bit of a difference.
Well,
I knew where he was.
Armbands.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you two fought out the race the previous run, didn't you? Those two horses. So, but what I'm trying to get at, and excuse my ignorance in trying to weigh up where he fits in this whole thing, is he good enough to go to the next level into the top class here?
Well, that's what we bought him for.
Yep.
I'm hoping so, and I can't see any reason why not. He's, as I say, he's still green. He's still learning the caper. I think Denny'd love to stick with him, but I don't know if she'll be able to because he's got Pondies, of course. Mm-hmm. But I don't think I'll have any problem finding a driver for it.
What were her comments after the race?
Couldn't tell you. I ran down to the track, gave her a big cuddle, and then bolted down because I had one in the next race, and I didn't actually hear Denny's interview, and we haven't spoken a lot since. She had more drives.
Yeah.
She drove Good Time Louie, I think, was it for me, a race after that, or might have been one in between. So I haven't really had a chat to talk to Denny.
How many have you got in work, Bobby?
7.
Cool. Is he the best?
Yes. Hard, possibly. Blazing Reactor's the fastest. I'm thinking Safest maybe got a few more brains, for want of a better word. Blazing Reactor's come a long way now, and he's getting a lot better. He'll probably race around at Bunbury next week, but we really think he's the fastest horse I've trained.
Trained? Okay.
Yeah, all up. Yeah, he's But apparently Auckland actors are crazy and he fits the bill. But slowly but surely he's sort of getting better and better and better. I'm thrilled with the way he's going at the moment. He's had that where he fell at Gloucester Park a while back and he had a bit of a spell, and I've given him one trial. So he'll probably go around to get back in the draw at Bumby on Saturday night in a mile, and he'll be very hard to beat too. But I don't care which one's faster, to be perfectly honest, as long as they're both winning races.
Yeah. Okay, so you mentioned Good Time Louis just down by Bricky's Dream in race number 8?
Yeah, he went super. The race was run to suit Bricky's Dream. I think if we'd been able to hold on to the lead, we could have beaten him. But up there, you get 2 points for running second and just about as much money as you get for winning a race in the country to gain 6 points. So there's nothing wrong with running placings up there. Yeah,
it's always been the case, isn't it? The old trotting boys.
Louis been very stiff. In 3 of his previous 5 starts, he'd drawn 10 and not seen daylight.
Okay, you mentioned you've got one in on Monday. That is Girl of Brightness, Abby Vidovic, to drive the horse in race number 7. We got a chance?
Big show.
Ooh.
Yeah. Worked super during the week. She probably worked better than anything on the place. I did give her a bit of a gallop, and she surprised me, actually. She's done a very good job for a filly that, she's not fashionably bred or anything, and she was at least on the market there for a lease for a long time, and nobody took her. And I said to my wife, I'll grab her and give her a bit of a go, and she's done a big job. She's won 3 now, and with the Westbred double bubble, she's picked up good money.
One off the text line here for Retrovision from Gemma. Can you ask Bob what sort of money would you have paid for a horse like Safer? Now, obviously you don't want it, but
no.
But what sort of money do you pay for a horse like it? It's come from where did you buy it from?
Andy Gaff had him when I bought him. He's had a few trainers. Jason Grimson had him in Queensland, but I think Jason was only babysitting him for 3 starts. He ran 4th in the Queensland Derby, big run, come from last. But Andy had him when I bought him, and I couldn't tell you. I know the bloke's name's Andrew, and they got a lot of horses, and he had a partner that had passed away whose kids weren't interested in the horses.
Okay.
And they were parting with a few. I probably rang up at the right time, yeah.
Was it like an online sale, something like that?
No. We don't buy horses online.
No.
I've got a mate that finds them for me. We ring up and make offers.
Yep.
A lot of the times we buy them, and a lot of the times we sit back on the chair and say, wow, is it worth that much?
But
we paid under 50,000 for him, and he's earned 38, I think it is.
Yeah.
Well, 32, 34 in 2 starts, so he didn't look like being a bad buy.
As you said, he's only a 4-year-old, so you imagine he's got plenty in store to go. What's that, 22 starts in his career so far?
22, has he? Yeah. I thought it was no, he's got a lot of upside in him, and he's a lovely-looking horse. He's going to look super in the summer.
Yeah, he looks to have a lot of strength through that front half of his body. I couldn't really have a look at behind, but particularly in the closing stages, you could see he had plenty of size up front.
Everyone was looking at that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, Bobby, you're a good goal fielder, mate. Well done. Well done on the win, and continued success with Safer, and we'll keep an eye on the girl on Monday.
Thanks very much.
There he goes, Bob Mellsop, special guest, talking harness here on the Aftermath.
Big win.
Big win. It certainly was. It's going to win more races, and you'd like to have been shares in that for under what he paid for it.
I love those stories. That's good. You take a bit of a risk, and it pays off in spades. It's always a great story.
Okay, we've got one off the text line here about St Kilda. They've got 2 good young ruckmen in Keeler and Heath. Do you think they'll hang on to Marshall now that TDK's going there?
Well, they've told Marshall they want him, but that's a given, you know what I mean? Because there's going to be a little bit of posturing around that one because he's on contract. But, so there's going to have to be a trade sort of negotiated for him. But, yeah, I mean, it has been a a really difficult time for Rowan Marshall, I reckon. Hearing the numbers and the story and the narrative that, Tom DeConning's coming at 1.7, 1.8 million a year. And, and you've got Max King on the side, who's on one of the biggest contracts and longest contracts going. And now you've got $2 million for Wanganeen Millerer. And now they're talking about 5x9 for 900 for Silvani. I mean, and they've upgraded Windhager from a $400,000 player to an $800,000 player for 4 years. I'm not sure how they fit them all in, Marty. Something's got to give.
Yep. Something's got to give there.
And he's well wanted. He's well wanted.
For sure.
Geelong have been making noises about getting a ruckman for a few years now, and they'll punt on Vic Sarves and Reece Stanley for the next month. And then at some point you think, again, they're going to have to make a move. And, I wouldn't be surprised if he left.
Okay, Bluey sent one in. Text here, he's off to Shark Park today. Can Perth win a final in the waffle? Fins up rusty. I think East Fremantle will get this one done against the Demons. There was a lovely photo. I don't read the West too often, but I was in a coffee shop yesterday, Brad, getting coffee before I come in here to work, and it was a lovely photo of about 6 or 7 Demons players after they'd won their last grand final. And
it's an old photo.
Yeah, it's an old photo. Didn't have captions of who they were, but the great Bazzusto was there. And there were a few others. So I'd love to get hold of that photo. Someone text in and tell us who the players were in it, because there wasn't a caption underneath. And if that doesn't annoy me more than anything, is lazy journalism by not putting captions underneath players or people's heads. It is a very annoying, and it's an occurrence that happens a lot these days. Modern journalism. Bang on 7:30. Aftermath, we've got plenty to come. We've got Grahame Begg. Hang on. What do we got here? How big will Chanel Cooper get as a jockey? I thought the way she finished on Nicomoda yesterday was outstanding. I'll tell you what we'll do with that. We've got Scotty Embry coming in with Richie Bell for Racing Rewind between 8 and 9, of course, for sessions down there at Oakland Park, as well as ingratiating for Neville Duncan and Adrian Brown. So we'll get hold of Scotty, because he watches these jockeys very closely, and we'll find out what he thinks for the future of Chanel Cooper. But from a distance, Brad, she is riding particularly well at the moment and has a great future.
Yeah, my word, she has. I don't mind her. I've sent her on a few for Grant and Alana and a few others around the place, and she handles herself very, very well. A very good horsewoman.
Every Sunday morning, like a lullaby to a baby's ear, Marty Young and Brad Hardie entertaining you on the Aftermath on Tab Radio Racing and Sport.
Beanie a length and a half away, 4 wide. GG's Mistruth next. Manal next on the rails in another profit. Road to Arataki and a bounding. Gerringong joined by Stretton Angel at the top of the running. It's Gerringong and Stretton Angel. Pop Award, Miss Roombeanie off those as Miss Roombeanie starts to join in. Manal behind those. And Magic Time right down the outside. Gerringong's kicking Miss Roombeanie. Magic Time followed by a bounding. Magic Time stopped up and one. It's her time. Magic Time from Miss Roombeanie. A bounding third, and there's an eye catcher, Damask Rose.
Oh, what a terrific win that was in the Cochrane Stakes there yesterday by Magic Time. Grahame Begg, trainer of Magic Time, joins us. Hi, Grahame. Marty Young here in Perth, and Brad Hardie's over there in Melbourne.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah, great to have you on, Grahame. Fantastic. Well done. How good's this mare? She's been a ripper for you.
Yeah, she's been a beauty because she's stepped up every preparation. I think she's only ever run in one restricted race, and that was when she won a maiden. So she's virtually been enlisted and group company right throughout her career. So she's done a great job.
Was the win expected, Grahame? I know she was nice and firm in the betting, but in your mind, you went to the races, confident of a performance like that because it was a hot field.
Very hot field. Look, to my eye, I didn't think she was right on top of the game. To be truthful, she still had a good bit of improvement to come. She hadn't really let a winter coat go yet, so she was sort of holding onto a winter coat going into the race. And she's hard to get a line on her in a track work because she just sort of goes through the motions. But you take her to the races on race day, and she's a performer.
Mickey D did a great job on her, Grahame. Was that the plan, just to let her find her feet and run her where she felt comfortable? Because that certainly helped her for sure, didn't it?
No doubt. But she also likes a bit of clean air. I don't think she's 100% happy when she gets boxed up in amongst runners. So she probably got out a little bit further out of a ground than I expected. But that was okay. He had her in a good rhythm, had a breathing right, and give her a chance to wind up. And it's not easy to do that at Caulfield, slingshot off the turn and get home over the top of them. So, it was a damn good run.
At set weights and penalties, she was sort of giving weight to most, apart from another profit. So that even adds to the performance. Yeah,
well, she was probably well in the race because only with like a 3 or 4 kilo spread in the weight. So for a dual Group 1 winner, she was well treated, I guess. And we've still got to carry the weight also,
Rupert Clark for her next?
I'd say probably not. I'd say more
Okay.
likely she'll wait and go to the Manikato. I just feel that she'll probably get outweighted in the Rupert Clark. So at this stage, that's our thoughts going forward. It gives her a nice buffer between runs, be able to keep her nice and fresh and well, and 4 weeks between runs will be ideal.
Yeah, she's always been very sharp, hasn't she? And you have stretched her out to 1400 on occasion. So, do you think that'll ever eventuate? She's 6 now, and she got stronger every campaign.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the 2 Group 1 races have been that she's won, and both been at 1400. So there's no issue with the 1400 metres. So look, we're just going to place her right, and obviously keep her building her resume.
Have you got many other horses with you long, Grahame? Because they had some sort of a day yesterday.
We've trained about half a dozen for them. Some, obviously another quite a talented filly called Rich Dotty. She's a written tycoon filly. She's stakes placed. And the rest are, made up of young horses. So a few coming through the system this season. So they've been untried, obviously, only still very early. Very exciting.
You took Splashback to Morphettville last week in the McDonald's Stakes, ran second to Cafe Millennium. When do we see Splashback again?
Yeah, she returned for the race, and she'll go to Flemington on the 13th to run in the Let's Elope.
Mate, you must be proud of your achievements. I mean, your strike rate's phenomenal, and you're prepared to go anywhere, and it doesn't matter if it's on synthetic or the like. And punters love you for that because they know when you present a horse, it's a good chance of winning.
Yeah, well, it's a matter of placing them right and putting them in the right races and in the right scenario for the horse. And yes, it doesn't matter if we've got to go to the synthetic. We're not too proud to go there, so we quite like Pateman synthetic. We're not a huge fan of the Ballarat surface. It needs some work done on that. But Pakenham, it doesn't worry me taking horses to there, particularly young ones having their first start in a race. So we kicked Gique off there, and Magic Time won at Pakenham. So there's no problem going to the Pakenham circuit.
Grahame, when we have a look at these bigger trainers in New South Wales and Victoria, they always seem to have a training manager and someone fronting the camera and doing the media work and all of that sort of thing, but you seem to be doing all your own stuff. So I'd love to know, what's the setup of your stable like? How big is it? How many horses in work at any one time? And what about staffing-wise? How do you handle it all?
Basically, we've got 30 in work. We've just opened up another branch with another 10 in work, so we've taken us up to 40. So we're not going to get much bigger than that. We've always, kept that sort of around that number, the 30-month number. So we've got a lot of staff, got a lot of well-experienced staff, and obviously, can't do the job without having the right people around us and get good feedback on every aspect of the horses' well-being and the way they train. We've got good track work riders, and obviously Chris Hyland, my foreman, he was a previous trainer, it's a great team effort.
You've got to, obviously, you got the spring coming up, and some of your good horses that you won races with earlier in the year, are they ready to come through now? And if you can, just give us a brief summation of a few of them.
Yeah, sure. Well, next week, for starters, actually, I'll start today. We're going to Seymour today. Actually, we've got a horse who's having its second start in a race. She's back from a spell in race 3. She's quite a short price favourite. Filly could Grahame, who we've got a very big opinion of. It's a heavy track up there, so hopefully she'll be able to get through the ground. But, we've got her earmarked for 1,000 guineas. Next week, got Nyance running in the Moya Stakes first up. And another horse called King Zephyr. He'll be entered for a couple of races next week, one being the Chautauqua, and also there's a benchmark race, a high benchmark race. He'll be probably entered in case he doesn't get in the Chautauqua. Miraval Rose runs next week in the Chautauqua. The week after, we've got Royal Insignia going to the Bobby Lewis. De Bergerac runs in a benchmark race up the straight, which he really loves. Filly Biologics goes to the Capton Teebs. So there's quite a number of horses ready to go.
What was the deal
with... Splashback runs in the Let's Elope on the same day.
Was Jordan Childs suspended, or why wasn't he riding yesterday?
No, unfortunately, I think one of his rides was scratched and another one didn't accept. So he had a day on the sidelines. But he's kicking back today at Seymour.
Okay, so why was Michael D on Magic Time?
Michael D's ridden for 2 Group 1 wins, and so the owners were keen to have his services yesterday.
Yeah, okay. All right, Grahame. Fantastic. I know King Zephyr's part owned over here in the West as well, I'm pretty sure, isn't it? Got WA owners there?
Yeah, I think there's a little bit of a leg of him which is owned in the West. So, it's exciting getting back to the races.
Geez, I'm talking to you and looking at your replay there on racing.com at the moment. You're pretty good. You're two places at once.
It's like Eddie everywhere.
Very talented.
Good on you, Grahame. You're a superstar. We love talking to you and watching you train. You're one of the best.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
There goes Grahame Begg.
You just know when you put your hard-earned on that, you got a chance with him.
It says something about those...
The strike rate's phenomenal.
It does, Brad. Those stables of 30 to 40 horses, back in the old days, our days, that was used to be one of the biggest, like Neville Parnham, I remember, say, in the early 90s, say early 90s, got out to about 30, 40 horses, and that was a big stable. Yeah. Right nowadays, it's a boutique stable, but
boutique stable.
A trainer like Grahame Begg with 30 or 40 horses that he trains, he is looking at them every day. He is watching them closely. You see a lot of these big stables, and it happens today. And I've heard horror stories and seen them firsthand of horses leaving some of these mega stables, and they get to another trainer and they say, "What the hell's been going on with this horse?"
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And I'm just having a look at his season stats. It's not that old, Marty. 21 runners, 6 wins, 6 seconds, 2/3.
There you go. And they front the camera. They haven't got Billy Blogs going up there. He's just on top of his game. He's ticking every box to do with every horse in his stable. I love that.
Yeah, no, agreed. Couldn't agree more. Very, very good train. So we're obviously, for your Sunday savers, you better put that one in if it's going to the Guineas. I think it should be winning at Seymour.
You want to make yours a 4-legger? Bradley? Not too late. It's up to 6.7 degrees. It's pretty warm here at the moment. Don't forget, we've got waffle football, and we've had another texter wanting to know about this game today, Sharks and Perth. Geez, I'd love someone to text through to us and tell us who those Perth footballers were in the West yesterday on 0427 789 571, and we're here for Retrovision.
You're listening to the Sunday Aftermath on Tab Radio Racing and Sport.
Yes, welcome back. 15 away from 8 o'clock. Darryn Pateman is working his way back down from the far north, and he's hitting Carnarvon for their big race day today, and he joins us right now. G'day, Darryn.
Yeah, morning, boys. Morning, Marty. Morning, Brad.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Bit cool, but we're good.
A bit cool because you've been up north. How's the trip back? The trip back been okay?
Yeah, no problems. No, we've safely arrived here in Carnarvon about a week ago, so we've been, just taking in a bit of the Carnarvon hospitality and ready to race today.
I've never done the drive, Dats. How long is it and what's it like?
It's about 15 hours from Broome to Carnarvon. Okay. We stop at Roebourne on the way through for generally a night or so, and then then head down here the next day. Just gives the horses a break. It's like 8 hours, I think, from Broome to Roebourne, and about 6.5, 7 from Roebourne to Carnarvon. So it just gives them a good break and chance to have a drink and something to eat and have a break ourselves, and then get into here.
Okay.
Not too bad.
Well, you got one first up, so tell us about Scary Mary in the first. How's she come to dodge all of the racing thus far?
She was left in Perth. She was a little bit behind the others, so she started a bit later and got her sent up to Carnarvon, and we met her here when we got here. She was pre-trained down in Perth. She's had a couple of gallops here, and it seems to be going along really good. She's not over-endowed with a lot of ability, but I don't think the field's over-endowed with a lot of ability themselves, so we're just, she'll be doing her best. She should get a good run from that barrier, and, she's chance.
Well, what about the Omen tip in the second? Because Rusty Collette and Marty last week in the Palace Hotel in Kalgoorlie, big shots.
What about that?
He's a nice horse too. We bought him off of Luke Fernie, and he came up to Broome pretty good condition. His first run was super. Second run in a real good field, and the Pearl up there was good. We just sort of getting him through just to get a bit of sun on his back was probably the main thing, and just brighten him up, and everything's gone well with him. He's sound horse, and he's just got to keep up it hopefully, and he should be pretty hard to beat. It's probably one of his best chances for the day.
What about Long Knife Brother, a bit further down the page?
Yeah, he's been racing surprisingly well. He's 11-year-old and had 90-odd starts, and his run the other day in Broome was super, but he's not a... I put a kid on him in the middle, and he didn't go too good. Nothing, she didn't do anything wrong, but he's a bit of a jockey's horse. I think he's just one of them old cunning foxes now. He's got a bit older and had a few starts, and the kids, he just puts it over him. With Kate back on today, hopefully she can get the best out of the old bugger.
Race number 3, you're double-handed again. You've got King Sicario. This horse won well at Broome last start over the mile. And Let's See, who ran third to a lot of Dane in Broome.
Yeah, King Sicario, he's a funny horse. He'll be out the back. He's 6 or 8 lengths behind the second last horse early, and I don't know what it is with him, but he just seems to not want to go early, but then winds up and really gets into the race late. And ride last start on him just as was a beauty, just on the way he races. He got through the field good and hit the line good. He's always a chance, but he's just got to have a bit of luck. And I just reckon Carnarvon racing will probably suit him, because they actually all concertina up at about the 500-metre mark, and they end up in a big bunch, so you shouldn't be too far off them. Getting a bit of luck getting through the field, and him, and Let's See, he was a bit disappointing. He's probably one of our more disappointing horses this year in Broome. He had a bottler of a year last year, but he went up in class, but he just didn't seem to want to race. And last start was good, but that was at 2,000 metres, so maybe the 1,600 might be just a little bit short today.
Can you divide your 3 in the 5th? Luck in running, maybe Crystal Vein, Divine Mercy, and Red Rebel?
Probably, if I had to lean towards one, Divine Mercy. He won well in that Kimberley Cup, and he didn't have a lot of luck in the Broome Cup. He got buffeted around and pushed around, and no bad interference or anything, but he was just in the middle and got laid on and leant on, and just sort of was not in a happy spot. So hopefully for the Evanses, we can crack the win in that race for them, being their own race, and it'll be in their dad's memorial race.
Mm-hmm.
And Crystal Vein, we're having a bit of a shot at the stumps. Aaron won a race here last year with him in a 1,600 metre with a fair bit of weight. So he said, no, you're mad if you don't give him a crack and see what happens. Drawing the outside, I probably reckon he'd either nearly roll forward or might sit outside of Divine Mercy. That's probably best case scenario. And Red Rebel, he had the one run here last year and bolted him, but that was in a sprint. And this year he's been a little bit looking for a bit more ground, so he should get a nice run just in behind him. And young Rocky on, he's never ridden for me before, so that'll be interesting. I see he beat it home a winner the other day, so hopefully he can do it again.
Have you got a Carnarvon Cup hope amongst all of these, or still in the stable you're not producing today?
I got Gambler's Golds here, so he won last year's Cup, and he's going as well as anything, as well as he's ever gone. So he's still here, and there's probably those 3 and a couple. I'll take out the Junction Gascoigne Junction next Saturday for their Cup. So if one of them happens to win, well, they'll probably go to Carnarvon Cup as well. So could have probably have 5 or 6 if I really wanted to, but probably have 4 maybe in the Cup. So best case scenario.
You there, Brad?
So I was just going to say, what's your best today? Do you think for the?
He's got one in the last.
The pens at the ready. Oh, did he? I missed that one.
Probably, sorry.
Plato or Plomo?
Oh, yeah, no, he's been a little fine this year, that little bugger. He's a bit the same, but he races a bit funny. But if he gets the rub of the green, he'd be really hard to beat. He'll get back, but hopefully he can work in 3 and 4 deep with a bit of cover around about the 6 and 800 and that, and just start working into it. And he's a tricky little horse to ride, but he's not a hard horse to ride. He's quiet and all that. He's just got can't kick him because he over races and things like that. So Jess has had a real good talk to the jockey, to Gian, about him. She's ridden him all the time. They've had a real good chat about what you got to do with him, and hopefully she's listened and everything falls into place. But he's got his share of ability. He's got his little quirks, but he should be hard to beat too.
So the best of them?
Probably Big Shots. I think if he gets the right run, he'll probably be the hardest. And probably Divine Mercy, I think, in that.
All right. Thank you very much for that, Darryn. And we'll keep an eye on you going to Junction next week. Cup in a fortnight. Well done. Thanks for coming on.
No worries. Thank you.
Darryn Pateman, an absolute ripper. Okay, so here we go, Brad.
Rusty and Dusty is best.
Cheers. This is from Kimbo, Marty and Brad. Ken Inman, Jeff Watt, Mel Day, Buzzer, Colin Lofts, and the kid in the top left corner is a great mate of mine, the late Jimmy Crotty. So cheers from Kimbo. There's some names there, Brad.
Yeah, my word, there was. Yeah, Colin Lofts did a great job for Peter Bazzasto and others along the way. So, there's some really good names there. Really good names.
Shane's given me one here on the way through. Shaney. Lazy journalism, you say. Marty, asking the racing public instead of emailing or ringing the West to see who the players are. Well, that's fair enough, Shaney. But we got the result, didn't we? We got the result in the end. I did have other things to do yesterday, Shaney, like putting 498 races to air, but that's okay. Yes, and thanks, Far Right Christmasopolis was there. Mitzi. Around the grounds. I was only listening, Brad. It was a little bit sad this morning listening to RSN because this is their final day of broadcasting under RVL before it goes to SEN. And they were replaying some of the old classics from 3UZ and all of that. And remember the Around the Grounds? That used to be so much fun.
Yeah.
When you'd sit back and listen around the grounds. And I had the pleasure of working with Chris Mitsopoulos, and you'd go around the grounds to Mitzi at Left Lane Park, and it's always a lot of humour. And the stuff they were playing, I think, was from 1985 in the VFL. And, Cracker's got to mention, he was around the grounds, your man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he would have been. Crackers would have been doing that. And, and 3AW, they would have been doing the same sort of thing. And Rex Hunt would throw it a barrel, and the other guys that out there, and they made it colourful, and they really. We've
got the close one, Rexy. We've got the close one out here.
and Harry Beitzel and Tommy Laugh were legendary.
Yeah.
Tommy Laugh.
Okay, let's go to Skeeter at the park. 5 away from 8. We're going to Jamie Marsh after this.
Racing, Maylada began quickly, also fast away was Italian Stallion and Our Aussie Salute leads. Italian Stallion quickly up to second. Maylada found the fence. In behind them next was West on Cold Transcendent, then followed by Bungee Man. Well back Pursuit Special, Sunset Lightfoot. Last of all, Our Aussie Salute leads off the back by 2. Second Italian Stallion, then followed by Maylada. Behind them next of all was Transcendent on the corner. Our Aussie Salute in front. In second place, Italian Stallion in the straight, though Our Aussie Salute for Jamie Marsh takes out for Peter Thomas. Our Aussie Salute wins. Second, Italian Stallion Transcendent. Then followed.
Well, it was a good win from Our Aussie Salute from the 4, Jamie Marsh. A very good morning.
G'day, boys. How are you?
Oh, not as good as you. That was a good win. I hope you had something on.
Nah, I didn't, to be honest. I didn't mind me dog off the pink, and that went belly up. So no, I didn't have a cent on, but it was a nice prize money. So we'll just take that.
Yeah, fascinating. And put them two together, because number 4 must be your favourite number, is it?
Yeah, number 7 normally, but it was last night, mate. Put it that way. Well, it was favourite last night. I think we won the other feature on Friday night from the 4 as well. So it was a good number for the weekend.
Beautiful number, that's for sure.
Well, tell us about the Grey, our Aussie salute. There's plenty of wins in his form line.
Yeah, he's just a dog with plenty of ability that sort of just had a few issues getting the 500 as a younger dog. When Kangton was closed down, we sort of went up to Northam and raced to fit over there over the 509, and he sort of struggled to get it. And just with age, he's come back as a bit of a stronger dog. He's always had that early speed and those good sectionals. He's just found a last sectional as he's got a bit older, and he's starting to put some runs together. So he's back from a spell. His first 2 runs back from a spell has obviously been a heat in the final. So, yeah, it's just nice for the owners as well. He's tipped plenty of money into the sport to get a bit of reward and a feature win over the weekend.
And what about Aussie Gem back at Mandurah on Friday? Good tractability dog. Just flew the lids and never looked like getting caught.
Yeah, that's his sister. So it was a good weekend for the litter. But she has a tendency to roll off on bends and let dogs up inside her as she got up in grade. But she galloped a lot better over the weekend. She sort of held the fence better than she normally does and ran a new PB. And it was nice. She's always shown that speed like her brother. But it was nice to see her hang on. They came late at her like they always do. But she has a pretty outstanding record, boys. I think she's in the money probably 90% of her races. So it was nice for her to get a big, as far as 400 metres go. It was probably one of the better races for her down there. So it was nice to get one on her on the CV.
Hey, Jamie, let's get an overview of the 2 big races last night from your point of view. The National Sprint Championship taken out by Cumbria Jack first. What did you think of the win?
Yeah, look, I think Tony Brett's a genius. So he is, if not the best trainer in Australia, he'd be right up there. And it was a massive chasing effort. I think he has the care of Jason Thompson's as well. So I think he ran 1, 2 and 3 with dogs in his care last night. So, enormous effort by him. Shane was probably a bit unlucky. He had a bit of early speed and almost got there. And just got cut in half and spat out the back. But his first 50 looked promising. And once that dog gets on the bunny, he's a different animal. He can match it with the best of them in Australia. So, it's hard to go over there and beat Tony. He is very good at what he does.
And the distance, it was Ethanol Water. She is putting together some sort of a career, isn't she, for Thomas Daly?
Yeah, she won a Galaxy over here. I tell you what, the first 100 metres footage of that race with that drone was terrible.
Yeah,
I
terrible.
See a thing. I had no idea where Ironworks was or anything. We sat there at the dogs at Cannington, and I actually sat with Paulie, who was in the race, and Adam Smithson, and no one had any idea where he was. So until they sort of changed the angle. But, look, Ethanol Water came over, won a Galaxy. It's a star. It's a star and probably has been for the last 12 or so months. So, congratulations to them. And not a great night for WA, but we've had plenty of success in the past, and hopefully we're back there next year.
Jamie, thanks for coming on, mate. Well done over the weekend.
Thanks, boys. Have a good one.
There he goes, Jamie Marsh. You're going to get going too. Brad, thanks for coming for Retrovision and Loans 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, just going to watch Hawthorn and Bulldogs in the mini from last night.
Won't take long.
Oh, it's over. It's over.
See you, Brad.